Silly season is far from over. A recently leaked video from Pierre from before the drivers' parade at the Belgian Grand Prix showed something very interesting. In the video, he says the following to George Russell: "I'm still working on the final details of the contract." Gasly is heavily linked to Alpine, but his tight contract with Red Bull prevents him from switching teams. However, Helmut Marko, Red Bull advisor, recently said that if the right offer comes along, the French driver is free to go. At the same time, Gasly has to wait and see what will happen with the Piastri Alpine case before making any official moves. Yet, Pierre has repeatedly said in the last couple years that he is ready for the next move in his F1 career. Gasly has been driving for Red Bull-owned teams since 2017, and after his Red Bull demotion in 2019, he never got another chance to drive in a race-winning car. Alpine, who is working on their program called Mountain Climber, has great ambition to find their way back to the glory days of 2005 and 2006, when Alonso managed to win 2 consecutive drivers' championships with Alpine's predecessor Renault. If Gasly actually does make the move to Alpine, it would be the first time that 2 French drivers drive for a French team. But what sounds like an ideal situation is actually not. In a recent interview with Gasly, the Frenchman opened up about his relationship with Ocon. "When we were like 9, 10 years old, we used to go to testing in karting when it was snowing, do 5 laps, then come in because it was so cold. Go out on the track together trying to get warm, and then go back on track for 3 or 4 more laps. We've spent a lot of time together, but it got to a point where he got a bit too upset, and it wasn't so nice anymore, so we kinda stopped hanging out. Then after, we always had quite a lot of rivalry. I think we respect each other as drivers." Szafnauer, who has been vocal about the Piastri case, has been surprisingly quiet about the rumors surrounding Pierre. In an interview with Otmar, he insisted that his team won't think about other drivers until the Contract Recognition Board made a decision about the Piastri case. However, insiders say that after the surprise of Alonso leaving, followed by the dispute with Piastri, the French team opted for a Plan C themselves. Despite all the rumors pointing towards Gasly, there is someone who can still make things difficult. Teammate Esteban Ocon just revealed who he prefers as a teammate and what he thinks of Gasly. One thing I can tell you, it is far from positive. So what does Ocon think about Pierre? What did Gasly say about their relationship? Who does Ocon want as a teammate? And why is his say-so important? Let's find out. Esteban Ocon has been driving in F1 since 2016. Halfway through the 2016 season, he replaced Rio Haryanto at Manor after his sponsors failed to meet their contractual obligations. Although Ocon was often fighting in the back of the field due to an uncompetitive car, his multi-year support from Mercedes helped him secure a better seat at Force India from 2017 onwards. The French driver was notorious for his aggressive driving style and collided several times with other drivers. His most famous collision was in 2018 when he tried to unlap himself from race leader Max Verstappen. This collision caused damage to both cars and gifted Hamilton the win, while Verstappen finished second. In both 2017 and 2018, he had Sergio Perez as a teammate, who also managed to beat him twice in the Drivers' Championship. Despite the mistakes and him being beaten by his teammate, he showed great talent. Unfortunately for him, Lawrence Stroll bought the Force India team and gifted Ocon's seat to his son, Lance Stroll. The demotion led to a year as a reserve driver for Mercedes, while trying to find ways back into F1 the following year. Mercedes agreed to let Ocon go from his contractual obligations, and so he was allowed to sign a multi-year deal with Renault. One thing didn't change, and that is that he has always been outscored by his teammates. In 2020, he was vastly outscored by his teammate Ricciardo, where the Australian driver scored 119 points, he scored 62 points. His career high point so far came in 2021, where he managed to win a hectic Hungary Grand Prix. Mistakes from Mercedes and a hard but fair-fighting Alonso helped the French driver to secure his only win so far. But as with all his other seasons, he ended once more behind his teammate, this time behind Alonso. So far, Esteban Ocon hasn't managed to beat his teammate in the Drivers' Championship in 4 full F1 seasons. The last time he ended in front of his teammate was in 2015, where he managed to win the GP3 series. His lack of competitiveness is also what ruined his relationship with Gasly. So, what happened? Both French drivers knew each other as youngsters. In an interview with therace.com a year ago, Gasly said, "We were almost like brothers because honestly, at the time when you're young, you need to drive all the time, and all the time together. I think in the end it was really good. It pushed us massively. We both have a really competitive mindset, and of course, we were really friends at the time, and we really wanted to beat each other. The relationship unfortunately got a lot worse at some point in karting when we started to fight for the World Cup, the European Championship, and also National Championship. Things started to go downhill in 2009. It was the Bridgestone Cup, and I tried to overtake Ocon in the last corner of the final lap, battling for P3. We made contact and I ended in front of him. This is where things went downhill. We collided again next year." Gasly continued by saying, "I tried to, on my side, keep the relationship as good as I could. I came to see him a couple of times to say, okay, just stop these stupid things we are doing. Just do your thing, I'll do my thing." He never really showed me he wanted to keep the relationship in a good way. I was waiting for apologies on his side, which never really came, so there's not much I can do. So how is the situation 1 year later? Motorsport.com asked Ocon during the Belgian Grand Prix whether he thinks he is capable of working together with Pierre. "Things go well. We respect each other. That is the most important thing. I think I can work together with him." But can he really? Paul di Resta, ex-F1 driver and Sky Sport analyst, said that it is no secret that the two have difficulties getting along with each other. He expects that more drivers have difficulty getting along with Ocon. It is said that Esteban has tremendous difficulty admitting his mistakes, like with the collision between Verstappen and Ocon. Gasly has also recently said that there is still a rivalry, but as long as they don't talk about racing, it is fine. "We can spend time together, we respect each other. It doesn't go further than that." Their relationship seems to be filled with tension already. This is further fueled by Ocon's recent comments about who he wants as a teammate. So who does Ocon want as a teammate? During the FIA press conference on Thursday, Esteban revealed his preference. "There is currently a lot of talk, and I know that the team will make the best decision. However, if it was my choice, I would offer Mick Schumacher a contract. He is a good friend of mine. If I can help him, I would. He showed as a junior that he's very talented. It is difficult to show your talent when you drive in a less competitive car. It is something I have experienced too, but I think that he would show great things in a competitive car like ours." Ocon knows that he has been beaten by his teammate since his first full season and is determined to finally finish ahead of his teammate at the end of the year. The French driver is currently 13 points ahead of his teammate Alonso, but Fernando is closing that gap. If it wasn't for bad luck and wrong strategies of Alpine, Alonso already would have been on top of Esteban now. Although the French driver says that Mick is a good friend of his, it also would increase his chances of being the #1 driver. But why is it important what Ocon wants? We have seen in the past between Alonso and Hamilton in 2007, and more recently in 2016 between Hamilton and Rosberg, that drivers that don't get along can create distortions in the team. The distortion was the main reason McLaren missed out on the driver's title in 2007 and meant the end to the once so good relationship between Rosberg and Hamilton. More importantly, drivers need to work together to develop the car. Their feedback is crucial, and when the drivers don't align with each other, the team has to make choices how and for whom to develop the car. But while the Alpine saga continues, Gasly remains focused. "I drive for AlphaTauri and will therefore give 110%. I will remain to do my best for this team as long as I am part of it." Do you think Ocon and Gasly have learned from their rivalry and can work well together in one team? Let me know in the comment section below.